fans, welcome into the Around the Horns podcast. It's your boy Tristan, your main man Mario, and I can't believe these words are about to leave my mouth, Mario, but the final week of the home season is upon us, and there is no better place to spend it than right here at Fuel and Iron Food Hall on a Tuesday night. How you feeling, man?
I feel great. You know, I just realized as I was walking in, the sun was still out, and after this coming weekend, when we leave here, the sun will remain out, so that makes me much happier. I'm ready for some more sunshine, a little less darkness in my life, and so, when I stay after the show to eat my dinner here at the Fuel and Iron Food Hall, I'll be doing it I can go outside on the patio, bright, shiny day. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
It is going to be a good time. It will, however, be sad because we'll be even closer to the end of the regular season, and we will be playing no more regular season home games, which is going to be tough to adjust to. But for now, we're living in the present, and we're talking about an exciting road weekend behind us, moving on to a even more exciting home weekend. To do so, Bulls fans, can we give it up for our period one guest, head coach Chris Wilhite? Coach, welcome back. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing really well. And if you can notice, Mario and I were much more normal with our intro this week. Last week, we made you sit here while we went through the rigmarole, and we couldn't get it right. Rest assured, Coach, we have finally brought for Fan Appreciation Weekend exactly what the Bulls fans want, and we have booked Simon and Matt Marshchanok, the twins, for their first ever Super Twin podcast. So you don't have to sit here while we fumble with the guest list.
I did it right this time.
Bonus to Mario for this week's points. But, Coach, let's talk about a tough weekend of hockey on the road. Obviously not the way we want to start this podcast. We wanted to be talking about another awesome weekend where you picked up 6 points, but you faced two of the toughest teams in the entirety of the NCDC, hung with them, but just not able to pull out a victory in either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday's tilt. Talk about what the Mustangs and Outliers did to get your goose this weekend.
Yeah, they smacked us in the mouth. They humbled us. It's kind of like what we talked about last week, because we got to find a way to humble ourselves, and I don't think we did that heading into the weekend, so they did it for us, and that's hockey, right? You had to expect that after the last couple of times that we've played them, that we've had really good games going against them, and you knew that they were going to come for blood, and kudos to them. They played well. They did exactly what they needed to, and they put us in the place last weekend, but to be honest with you, it's not a bad thing. We've had a really good 2 months. And so for us, it was good to be humbled a little bit that there are still things that we got to work on heading into playoffs, and we'll for sure get that right. But it was good to get the film, to get the learning experience out of that weekend. And to be honest with you, it's a good thing. I see it as a good thing. Like, you always want to win, right? You always want to get those points. But for us to be humbled, for us to get back down to earth and realize that we need to bring our A game every time we touch the ice. We need to have the best effort every time we touch the ice. That's real. And so heading into playoffs, that's just another learning curve that you get when you touch the ice. You got to be ready to go.
Now, usually this late in the season, there's not a lot of new things that you're finding out throughout the season. You've got a really well-established core here, a couple of latecomers to the team, but for the most part, guys have kind of solidified their place. Your lines are really consistent right now, and you've kind of found your groove. After a weekend like this, where you feel like you got smacked in the face, how much of an overreaction do you feel like you have to make as a coach to say, we don't want to do what we just did for 3 games, but how much do you feel like you trust what's gotten you to this point in the season and keep the head afloat?
You know you have the team to do it, right? You've done it all year. You've had a really good year, and it's just a lot of film work. We got out of our systems. We didn't finish our routes. We didn't play our game. I mean, you could probably count on one hand how many hits we had in 3 games. So to be honest with you, it's just letting these guys see what we saw, and just doing a lot of film work this week. It's going to start tomorrow with the film, and letting these guys see exactly what we saw and kind of breaking it down. And to be honest with you, these guys are smart guys. That once they see it and once they recognize it, they're just going to go, oh, yeah, we can't do that anymore, right? It's going to be easy film work. It's going to be a lot of accountability within it, but it's good for these guys to see it. I I don't think there's got to be a lot of changes to be made. I think it's just the understanding that it's playoff hockey, and if you don't bring it every single day, other teams will. It's just the mindset that you got to have, and at this time of season, doesn't matter what building you go into, you have to be able to play in all of them, and because who knows how playoffs is going to work, right? At this point right now, you still have no idea who you're going to play in the first round. So you just got to keep working, got to keep learning, and got to keep being students of the game. You got to keep working on our craft, and it's a good weekend ahead here in our last 2 home weekends to get it right back on the right ship. But I honestly think there's a lot of learning out of this last weekend, and we're definitely going to take it out of that.
And now looking ahead, obviously, last homestand for the Pueblo Bulls here in Pueblo. We got a huge weekend. It's Fan Appreciation Weekend. You guys always go all out. It's a great time. Win or lose, we're hoping for the win, obviously. But how important is it to, take that film, to take this past weekend, and to be able to apply everything that you faced and that you're learning at home in front of the crowd here in Pueblo?
Yeah, it's really important. There's nothing like playing at home in front of the best fans in the world. So the energy that we're going to bring, I don't think that's going to be a problem this weekend. It's just the details of hockey, right? It's making sure everybody understands their route, their job, understanding the power play, understanding the penalty kill, just kind of getting everybody back on the same page. And for a weekend like this, it's really important for us, right? It's our last chance to kind of make a statement at home, whether where you go on the road or we get playoff games. We'll still have a playoff game, at least one in our building. So teams still have to come to us. That's the name of the game, and it's always been hard for teams to come to our building, and I don't see it being any different this weekend. But it's just getting back to attention to detail within the game. Really just understanding everybody's job and what everybody needs to do at a certain time, and it's just learning, right? It's going back to school, bringing out your notebook, just learning a little bit more, and just kind of dialing up those details that I think are going to be really good this weekend.
And I got to ask you, do you feel any additional pressure this past weekend and looking ahead? Because really, you're basically a one-man show right now. Everyone has left you high and dry. You can put Tunes on the bench, but let's face it, that dude is he's coached out. Like, he's not a great asset. Do you need Tristan and I on the bench to help you out this weekend so you have some support, some real support, or what are we doing with that?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to join the bench, by all means, I'd love to have you. But no, Tunes is great. Expect to see him on the bench here pretty much the rest of the year, and it doesn't really matter who's on the bench, right? These guys know what to do. They know how to play, and you're just kind of saying who goes at what time. But at this point in the season, these guys, they're good hockey players. Like, they know what they're doing, and there's just a little bit of managing on who against who and at what time. But when it comes to actually playing, these guys know what to do, and they're good hockey players.
Yeah, we just had to give Tunes a little needling there because, I mean, let's face it, I don't know, we're going to have to go back and check the tape, but I think you might be in the lead this season for the most appearances from the coaching staff, from the executive staff from Pueblo Bulls hockey, followed closely by Davo. But you know who's coming in less and less is our boy Ty.
Yeah, Ty thinks he's a jinx, so you'll see him a lot less. But you know how hockey players are with their superstitions. But honestly, guys, would you rather have it any other way?
Not even close.
No.
This is the way we prefer.
This is the best part of my week. Definitely, no doubt, 100%.
We have had the best season of the podcast because we've had you on so many times, and we haven't had to flame you for your shoes or the pizza grease you spilled on your shirt even once this year. So if you want to come back, Tunes, clean it up, big dog. I do want to just stick on the personnel. You talked about the guys just knowing you're in a groove on the ice. How impressive, and I know it was kind of the victim of circumstance a couple of weeks ago, but Brock Barron suiting up on defense another weekend for you guys. The guy came in late, made an immediate impact, offensive juggernaut, turns around and plays a hell of a weekend for you on defense. How much confidence do you have in a guy like Brock to say, yeah, we're thin there, go out and do what you can do? And how do you see that playing out moving forward? Has he found a new home on the defensive side of the puck?
The kid's a Swiss Army knife. I think it's more so he's just willing to do whatever it takes for this team to win. Whether it's defense, forward, if you ask him to play goalie, I'm sure he'll do that too. That's just the type of kid he is, and obviously he's a forward, right? He'll probably want to sit here and say that he wants to play forward, but in a time in need, when you're down a D-man, he's willing to step up, and kudos to him. He's been really good. He's already gained a lot of my trust back there. Just his skating ability, the way he sees the ice, it just kind of simplifies everything for him. And when he can play a simple game and just kind of having his mindset to go north, move the puck north, he's a really good hockey player. His speed is undoubtedly one of the fastest on the team. That's been shown all year. And the trust that we have him on defense, you go look at his ice time over this last weekend, even on Olympic ice. He's definitely getting the shifts. He's definitely getting the time, and it's kind of nice when you dress 7 D-men and he's one of the D-men. If a forward goes down, he's ready to step in. We had to have that happen. Gav took a high stick to the face and had to get some stitches. So he had to step in for about 10 minutes at forward. So, again, he's a swift Army knife. He's ready to go at anywhere we ask him to be.
It's also good to know that Gav will be nice and ugly by the time he finally joins us on the pod next week, because we've been itching to get Barzy in here, but he just can't get that Tuesday night off. He will. We've got a couple of weeks left with the pod, and he'll come in with a nice big shiner and some stitches.
Listen, he's tried. I messaged him last night to see if he got tonight off to join us. He did not. So if it comes to that point, I'm more than happy to call his employer and spread vicious, malicious lies to get him fired, and then we'll help him find another job down the road. But in the meantime, we want to see some Barzy, and by the time we see him, he's gonna be all Frankensteined up, like a face is gonna be scarred and stitched. And
let me also stop you, because when you say you DM Barzy last night from our Instagram account, did you pull the card out of?
I pulled the tune. Yeah,
man.
Hey, Bay, you up?
The DM from the GM is now the DM from your main man. That's a slippery slope we have entered here now at the Around the Horns podcast.
Listen, keep it creepy, buddy. That's my motto in all things.
Man,
keep it creepy.
All right, Chris, final question here before we let you go. Fan Appreciation Weekend. The barn has been sold out 3 home weekends in a row, just about every home stand for the entire season. You have an awesome chance to go out and show out in front of them, hopefully pull out a couple of victories against Casper. What will it mean to you? At the end of this season, we already celebrated 25,000 fans last homestand. You're going to exceed that limit. You're going to be pushing 30,000 on the year. Just how awesome is that to know that the community for 6 years strong has not ever waned in their support for you and the team?
Yeah, it's incredible. That makes junior hockey. You see a lot of these teams on the East, they get 25 to 50 people. Some billets show up, some sponsors maybe. The fact that we know that we're walking into our building and every seat's going to be filled, it's incredible. That's a huge part of why guys come here. We have all the amenities, but everything that a kid wants to play in front of it's fans. You always want to play in front of fans, and it makes it 10 times better. So the fact that our fans keep showing up, they ball out, and that's a huge recruitment tool for us, is you get to play in front of 1,200 strong every single night you're home, and I don't think this weekend's going to be any different. So kudos to our fans. They've been awesome for six years now, and just keep it going. You guys are loud, and you give us a lot of energy, so I appreciate everything you've done.
Well, Bulls fans, give it back to him one more time for our Period 1 guest, Head Coach Chris Wilhite.
Sounds like we're at the PIA and Event Center right now with all these fans.
Almost, Mario. Bulls fans, don't go anywhere. Period 2 and Period 3 coming at you on the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, Period 2 time, and we are bringing in a returner and maybe the corniest guest we've had all season. Bulls fans, give it up for our Period 2 guest, Will Hofer. By corny, I obviously mean a future corn cobber, but welcome back to the show, man. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Glad to be talking Pueblo Bulls hockey with you, and a little bit of a bittersweet week for us here at Fuel and Iron as we enter the final homestand of the season. Talk about the year as a whole, as quickly as it seems like it's come and gone. How long has the grind really been for you and the boys?
Well, yeah, the season's gone by really fast. I mean, I think as a team we've kind of came together. We found our roles as a team, and we're kind of clicking now and looking good.
Obviously feeling really good until last weekend. The team was about as hot as any in the entirety of the NCDC, and then you went to Utah and, like Coach said, got smacked in the mouth a little bit. As a veteran leader on the team, a guy that guys look up to, what have you done to kind of regroup? How have you yourself kind of refocused on that target at the end of the season that is the Dineen Cup?
Yeah, I think this week's a big week for us, kind of coming in and getting our feet back under us, kind of just focusing back up. We still have 3 more weekends, and these are big games for us going into playoffs. So just kind of regrouping and resetting.
Let me ask you. I found it interesting because you've been a stalwart for the Blue Line all season long and all of last year. You find the right place at the right time to do your job. But I've also noticed in the last 2 homestands, you kind of get zeroed in on from the opposing team. You've taken some hits, my guy. What is that about? What has changed to where you're kind of, I don't want to say targeted, but it seems targeting. Is that just because of your ability on the ice? Is it just wrong place at the wrong time with the opposing team? What's going on there?
Maybe
you're such a nice guy. You're a likable guy. Look at you.
Maybe it's a little bit of both. I mean, kind of trying to take me out of my game, and just kind of have to look past that and don't let that bother you. So.
And with that, listen, you face these teams over and over again. Okay. You guys are making this last push, this home weekend, special weekend for the fans, but also that last push towards the playoffs. You've kind of gotten a feel for, do you guys think you have the right prescription for the ailment of the teams that you have to face in the playoffs? Are you guys ready to solve the complex equation of all of the Mountain Division teams?
Yeah, I think if we show up any night, we can beat any team. We can score, we can play defense. As long as we show up, we can beat any team.
Is there a team that you really want to face? Is there a team that you feel like there's maybe a revenge or I want to just clean the floor up with you guys? Like, is there something that would really, like, if you could, Will Hofer is going to pick the perfect scenario for the playoffs in that first round, what would that be for you?
I think I don't mind playing, like, all the teams are teams I like to play against. If I had to pick one, I liked playing against Idaho. Okay. They're just a team that we match up really well against.
And go show the number 1 team for the majority of the season what you guys are really made of.
Yep.
And I think that is a hard-fighting team ready to prove something after last year, which I want to talk about because we had the chance last week to talk with Vesti about that sour taste in the mouth of the returners, that he said all of you had this unspoken knowledge that when you missed the playoffs by 1 point, when you came back for 24-25 in Pueblo, it was for more than just another great year of junior hockey. It meant you were bringing playoff hockey to Pueblo, and it meant you were kind of avenging that shortfall of last year. How much of that has played into your head this season?
Missing playoffs last year really was kind of left a sour note with a lot of us returners. So coming back this year, we surely want to make playoffs without a doubt. But yeah, losing 1 point is pretty tough, but I think coming into this year, we want to go as far as we can.
And you're already clinched. We're talking about playoff hockey because
Don't clinch, unclinch.
Yeah, we as a team, I should say, the Bulls have clinched a playoff spot. Mario's not hearing my words very well the last couple of weeks, but this one we are clinched. And obviously knowing you've got more to play for this regular season, all of that jockeying for positioning when it comes to the playoffs, do you care about that matchup? Do you really feed into what we need to do to be in the most optimal position? Or is it truly like now through the end of April is just rip everybody's head off?
I think, coming into all these games through, I think we just kind of play our game, try beat everyone we can. But I think, it's
Say it. You want to rip somebody's head off,
Yeah,
Hof.
no, obviously we want to come in and win this.
Say rip somebody's head off,
we
dude.
want to rip someone's head off.
Baby Will. I got to break you out of the shell every once in a while because Mario and I deal with some real douchebags on this show every week, and you're just not one of those guys. You're such a clean-cut, nice guy that we have to break you out of the shell when you're with the network.
Fair.
So I do want to talk about some of your experiences, obviously being a returner, a guy that came in with a leadership role and a chip on your own shoulder. What do you feel like you've accomplished that you're most proud of this year with the boys?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think, finding more of my game, like I think I've became more of a defenseman, fitting into those, kind of playing those tougher minutes, playing against more of the top players on each team. So I think that's one of the bigger roles I've kind of came into this year.
And who has maybe most impressed you? Like when they rolled in week one, you thought, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if this guy's got what it's going to take to succeed here in Pueblo. And now you're sitting here week 18 saying, I'm glad that guy stuck around and he's really kind of shown what he's made of.
He did say he's hoping the Marshchanok twins finally do something for the team, though.
No, I think one guy for sure is Caden Spidell. He's kind of found his game towards the end of the season, scoring and finding his way back in the lineup, and he's been a big part of the team.
Shout out to Spidey, too. I don't know, Bulls fans, if you're keeping track at home, but if you've been an OG since week one, Spidey was our original guest in the 24-25 season, and the guy has just been working his tail off to get back on the ice. Good call on that one.
Now, let me ask you, with this weekend coming up, being fan appreciation and your time, two seasons just back-to-back, just grinding in front of these fans, what is it that you're going to take with you from the fan experience? And what is it that you want? Because you probably won't be on another pod with us again.
Yeah.
What is your final words to the Bulls faithful out there?
That's hard to see. It's going to be hard to see another fan organization like this, where they sell out games, where you have all these fans cheering for you, and it's actually really awesome. So it's hard to beat.
How do you think the fans at Concordia are going to be? Because obviously you've got bigger aspirations. You're going on to college. Last time we chatted with you, you had just freshly made your commitment to go play hockey at the next level. How much more reality has that settled in now that you've been committed for the last couple of months there? Are you looking forward to that? Are you excited for any specific things heading up to the next level?
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a big change with school, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, it'll be kind of a new chapter to kind of open up to, so it'll be fun.
Listen, I personally, I'm not going to speak for Tristan here, but I want to let you know that it's been a pleasure having you here in Pueblo. Your steadfastness, your level-headedness off the ice, your grind, your work ethic, and your professionalism on the ice has been second to none. It's been a true pleasure. You don't have to comment on that, but I think that is one of the things that we don't get to say enough to the players, because I think that what usually happens is playoffs come or don't. And we do the end-of-year awards, and then people are on planes, trains, and automobiles heading homeward to the next level. And we have to be better to make sure that you know our appreciation. Thank you for your time on the show. Thank you for all you've done for Pueblo, all you've done for Siri. Siri wants to put her two words in too. But truly, we appreciate you and your time and your support and being a good sport with us and all of our nonsense.
Yeah, thank you guys. That means a lot.
And might I add, Mario speaking for both of us, but the best damn t-shirt slinger that Pueblo has ever seen. And if you haven't had a chance, go visit him at the Bulls shop on 4th Street. Pick up your playoff swag from the man himself.
Time's running out. See him while you can down there.
Be ready for it. Hof, thanks so much for everything, man. Best of luck. We'll see you this weekend. Bulls fans, give it up for our Period 2 guest, Will Hofer. And Period 3, Mario, is finally upon us, where we bring you the Super Show. 2 guests, 1 period. Don't go anywhere. The official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns podcast. Bulls fans, welcome back to the Around the Horns podcast, period 3 time. And Mario and I have tried mightily to make this moment happen. And I feel like we often aren't starstruck, but tonight it feels a little special to have the 2 greatest players in the entire NCDC joining us for one
No hyperbole, that's for real.
super show. Bulls fans, you can be as loud as you've been all season. Give it up for our period 3 guests, Matt and Simon Marshchanok. Boys, welcome to the pod. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. It's good to have you on because we've had you both split up in different parts of the season, and we had to ask you both about what the season had looked like. And at that point, we didn't know what you were going to turn into this year with the Pueblo Bulls, which is, without hyperbole, the greatest players in the NCDC. Number 1 and number 2 in scoring. Simon, I'll start with you. An absolute tear the last couple of weeks. What has been going right for you? What has been your favorite part of doing what you've done over the last 16 weeks? And how good are you feeling at this point in the season?
Yeah, it actually feels good. Trying my best all the time, every game, with my brother, with my teammates, with my line mates, and I think it's going pretty good. I like it. Season is going pretty well, and I think we'll keep it going.
All right, Maddie, same question for you.
So we have good chemistry, and yeah, we have a pretty good season right now. So the coaches trust us, and we just doing our job.
Let's take a step back real quick. You guys have played hockey together for all of your life? Most of your life?
12 years.
How many interviews have you done together simultaneously?
This
is the first one? Is this the first one?
Yeah, this first one.
Yeah, we're breaking records all over the place, man. No, let's talk about too before we talk about what you've done in the NCDC for the Pueblo Bulls. But on top of that, let's go and talk about you guys represented. You were 2 of the 3 players from the Bulls to go to the All-Star game. And we haven't had a chance to really talk about that. Can you share with us your experience at the All-Star game and just, how awesome it was to show off your talents in Pueblo Bulls hockey?
Yeah, it was a really good experience. Not many games there, but it was a good experience and participate in such a good thing. So with play with the good players for all Mountain Division. So yeah, it was. I like participating in it.
Simon, how was the experience for you?
Actually, I like it because we had pretty good players in our team, with the best in our division, and I think it was a good chemistry and see everyone in our team and talk to know everyone, And I think it was pretty well. Even if we won one game and lose one game, it's still we get fun with the guys, talk, and I don't know. It was good meet to other guys.
And this is how you know you've got 2 of the ultimate competitors in the entirety of the NCDC, because when you get given a chance to go play all-star hockey, which truly at this level is showcasing your own talents in front of scouts that are going to maybe recruit you to go play college hockey, Simon cared about winning and losing at an all-star level weekend. So if you're looking for the ultimate competitor, you got to look no farther.
Well,
but knowing that that's ingrained in you.
Well, let's ask the real question. If they're real competitors, you are with guys you play against in the Mountain Division, and you had a chance to show that you are far superior hockey players to them. So at any time did you say, nana, nana, boo-boo, stick a tongue out, make faces, or just rub it in their face about how good you guys were? Did that happen at any time?
It didn't happen any time.
Competitors, huh?
Ultimate competitors and better men than Mario and I, because we would have been doing it the entire time. Unfortunately, they don't have an all-star category for podcast hosts. It's just us.
Fix it, NCDC.
I will continue on, though, the chemistry that you guys bring to the ice. And obviously, you've both talked about how much chemistry you have. It is almost a given. So much so that when we call the scores, guys know if we're calling a goal for Matt, we're probably calling the assist for you, Simon. Likewise, you're assisting on each other's goals every single week. You are making anybody who skates with you that much better, bringing the play of guys like J Mac and Quinn Smith and Brody Clark, whoever has lined up with you this entire season, having career seasons. How much of that chemistry is just built over the last 12 years you've played together?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's just every year by year, and I think we just talk about sometimes, and I think it's just a mentality thing between us two, and it's pretty fun to play with both of us on ice, and we know if we can see each other on ice, we can just mentally think what we can do on the ice, and it's kind of work most of the times.
And when you guys do have those goals that you score, and the assist doesn't come from the other brother, does it feel weird? Like, what is that like? Do you say something's not right? The score didn't get it right. Like, what is going on in your mind? Because I think the tandem of the two of you and your success really feeds into each other. Because we can talk about goals and assists, and that's great. We love the goals and assists, right? Those are what the fans come out to see. But you guys are making plays happen. And again, to Tristan's point, you're making plays happen for your teammates as well. How good does that feel for you when you don't have the focus on you maybe being the scorer or having all the pressure, but you're letting other people get in there and make a difference with their career as well?
To be honest, we're fighting between me and my brother by points and every goal and assist. So, but we like playing with our teammates, our line mate, and help him also with the points and help our team make a goal on the board.
And have you guys ever thought about just rolling out a two-man line and not even having a third player with you guys?
Oh, it's
No, I'm joking.
No,
You
it's
have to
called
answer
a
that.
penalty kill, Mario. I know that sometimes you get these ideas, but yeah, that's called a PK, and they do it pretty well. I will stay in this same vein, though, of teammates. Oftentimes when we ask the guests on the pod who the fastest skater is, who the best hands are, they usually talk about the two of you. So now we are eliminating yourselves from this equation. So Simon, when I ask you these questions, you can't say Matt. Matt, likewise, you cannot say Simon is the best at any of these. So, Simon, when I ask you who the best skater on this year's team is, what is your answer?
I think we have a pretty good players in the entire team, and I think every skating is good. But if I pick one guy, I'll say Hunter Bill.
Okay. What do you think?
of course I'm not gonna pick my brother. I'll pick several guys like Brody Clark and our line mate. It's Jack Mackenzie.
J-Mac, all right.
Now, best hands on the team, if you're not picking yourself or your brother, Simon.
I think in the last couple of weeks, I think it's Brody Manley shows pretty good hands, I think.
Best hands?
I would pick Caden Spidel.
All right. Spidey's getting some love tonight.
That's 2 shout-outs for Spidey on the pod tonight. We should have had him for Superhero Weekend. Final question, as we go into Fan Appreciation Weekend, these fans have absolutely loved seeing you all season, shouting your name out when you get 6 goals and 9 assists on a weekend, whatever it is that you do. They are going to be able to see you 2 more times in the regular season, Simon. What do you have to say to the Pueblo Bulls fans out there that have cheered you on all year?
It was so fun playing against every team and in front of our fans. When it's my brother score or me score, it's all the time to get fun, to hear fans, their support, and it's an amazing experience for me.
All right, Maddie, what do you want to say to the fans here?
Yeah, I agree with my brother. We've never had this experience about so many fans on the stands cheering for our team. So yeah, I every time glad to hear and their support. So yeah, I'm glad to hear and see them again. And our goal just play well.
Well, I think you guys have played well and you will play well. But also now's the time just to, no pressure. But if you guys want to come back, we have a whole nother season of making those. Please, the fans love you. We love you.
I do love my fans. Yeah, I do. And we do. Our team loves our fans. especially after our penalty.
Yeah, well, you know.
I will say, and Mario and I are trying, we showed our love in the last period to Hof, but obviously it's a guy we've gotten to know for the last 2 years in a very short period of time. We could tell there was something special when you guys came to the team. Obviously, seeing generational talents like yourselves come in, play the type of hockey that you play, and we were talking about it before the show started. You were tendered last year by the Bulls, and you even came out and saw what Pueblo was like when you were with Potomac, and everybody told us, when they show up, they're going to be special, and you guys truly have been special. Two of the most exciting players that Mario and I have had the chance to watch in our 6 years with the team. But I think the fans obviously pinching themselves weekend by weekend, realizing that they're watching a little bit of Pueblo Bulls history. So to both of you for what you've brought to the team this year, we're really grateful for you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the experience for us and for fans and team and the organization. It was so much and so good for us.
Yes, again, we worked hard and doing just our job. Yeah, and so I don't know what to say else.
Well, we appreciate you guys.
We got to let these guys go recharge. They've been unplugged for far too long. They've got to go get their batteries back up to
F1
max
power,
levels.
baby. F1 power.
Bulls fans, give it up for our Period 3 guests, Simon and Matt Marshchanok. A good time was had this Tuesday night, Mario, and an even better time will be had this weekend at the PIA and Event Center for Fan Appreciation Weekend. Very, very few tickets remain when we're recording this show. Might even be sold out by the time this goes live on Thursday. So if you haven't, visit the Pueblo Bulls shop on 4th Street. Pick up your tickets, pick up your swag.
From Will Hofer.
From Will Hofer.
From the second period.
And if you don't like Will Hofer, you can buy your tickets at PuebloBullsHockey.com, because that means you don't have to come face-to-face with Hof. You don't have to ask him what a corn cobber is, and you get to do it from the comfort of your own seats. But next Tuesday night, mark your calendars. We'll be right back here at Fuel and Iron Food Hall for another recording of the official place for all things Pueblo Bulls hockey, the Around the Horns Network.